If you're tired of waiting for referrals or spending money on ads that may or may not work, this video is going to change everything. What if I told you there's another way that can help you find high quality potential clients for your business that's completely free, that could last you for years or even decades to come? This other way may not be easy. In fact, it might take a lot of work to just get it going initially. But once you crack it, it will give you amazing dividends for many years to come. And first, I want to tell you what it is. So many of you probably have guessed it. It's building a YouTube channel for your business. I want to talk about the top 5 reasons that I feel are often overlooked by business owners on why they need to start and grow their YouTube channel urgently today. Plus, I also want to share, if you currently don't have a channel, what is going to be the easiest way for you to catch up today, more or less as a shortcut. Now, the first reason here is the average shelf life of a YouTube video is really long. So let me first quickly explain, what does shelf life mean? Okay, so shelf life here just simply refers to once you publish a video on YouTube, how long it's going to be up there for people to discover about you and your channel. So this is really important because if you compare it to other social media platform, let's say Instagram here, for example, if you create and publish an Instagram story, the shelf life there is 24 hours. So what does that mean to you? It means that after you spend all this time creating, editing, publishing that Instagram story, it's going to be gone after 24 hours. So the shelf life of that Instagram story is really short compared to how much time and energy you put into creating it. And it's very similar on LinkedIn. So when you post something on LinkedIn, you're hoping that post is going to help you attract some of your ideal clients there, right? And sometimes it does. It's pretty effective. That's why people do it. But the effective shelf life of your LinkedIn post typically also goes down after 24 hours. Why? Because when you're just posting that, it's new and fresh, right? It stays at the top of everyone's LinkedIn feed. But once a few hours pass, it gets pushed down, other people post their new content, right? It gets more and more buried. And over time, typically after a day, no one is going to stay on their feed to scroll for hours to see what is already posted like yesterday or 2 days ago, right? So to you as a business owner, it's not necessarily a high leverage activity for you to create content on either Instagram or LinkedIn. Why? Because all that time and effort that goes into creating every piece of content is not necessarily going to give you a disproportionate return, right? Because every day you have to start new. You have to start from scratch of creating another new piece of content because every day it goes away after 24 hours. So you're constantly in that hamster wheel. Now on YouTube, it's very different. Why? Because when you post a new YouTube video, assuming the quality is decent and you don't take it down, it's going to be there forever. It's always going to be there. And it gets better and better over time. And the reason I say that is because there's a compounding effect of marketing on YouTube. And this is actually the really exciting part. So let me show you with a very simple example. Let's say you start today, okay? You build your YouTube channel today from scratch. And you work consistently on it, and by the end of the first year, now you have 1,000 subscribers. Of your 1,000 followers, typically 1% is going to convert to do whatever call to action you ask them to do that you link to the video, right? Whether it's simply subscribing to your channel or opting to your email list or booking a sales call with you or your team, like whatever it is, usually 1% of your following would follow that, would actually take that call to action to proceed. Now, that 1% is not me making it up. Like it's standard statistics that you can find on Google. Usually it's in the range of 1 to 5%. I'm taking the lower conservative number here of 1%. In your scenario here, if you start today, by the end of the first year, you would have 1,000 followers and 1% would take your call to action, which is 1% times 1,000, which is 10 people, right? 10 leads here that would, for example, follow your call to action to book a sales call with you. Let's say by the end of the second year, now you have 10,000 followers and you're not doing anything. You uploaded that video 2 years ago. You just let it sit there. You don't take it down, right? And you continue to work on uploading other quality videos to drive your channels forward. But let's assume by the end of the second year, you now have 10,000 followers. Assuming the same percentage of 1% would take your call to action, 1% times 10,000 followers, that's 100 leads, right? That would, for example, book a sales call with your team. And that's where the game-changing part comes, because 100 leads for free to your business could almost support a double 6-figure business. Now, let's assume you move forward into the third year. By the end of the third year, you still have that video there. It continues to attract more people. More people land on that video that you uploaded 3 years ago. Now, by the end of the third year, you have grown your channel to, let's say, 50,000 followers. right? 50,000 followers times 1% of the same conversion rate, you now have 500 leads that book a sales call with your team. So at this point, you have significantly grown and scaled your business because of one asset, one piece of content you posted on YouTube 3 years ago. And the beautiful part here is you're not going to just have that one video and do nothing else and just sit idly, and it's not realistic. So you're going to continue to produce other quality videos, just like that video that's like a golden seed that you planted, you're going to plant other golden seeds. So over time, you're going to have a collection of quality videos that continue to drive views, drive traffic, drive leads to your doorstep, to your business on YouTube, literally for free. And unlike your content activities on Instagram that really expire after 24 hours and you have to start from scratch again and be in that hamster wheel the second day, but unlike that on YouTube, you're spending a set amount of time and energy to drive disproportionate return to your business. And that YouTube video is going to be up to drive traffic. So it's a highly leveraged activity that I think every business owner needs to consider doing ASAP. And I know company effect is talked very often, typically in the investment context, but many of us don't realize, just as Sam Altman, the founder of OpenAI, mentioned, that there are many things we can do in our personal lives, in our business lives, that we can do to also leverage the company effect, just like our skills of making YouTube videos can compound, right? Because maybe in the beginning, we're all very nervous. We don't know what to do. But after 2 months, we feel a lot better. We know the process now. After a year, now you're an expert at video production. And your knowledge can compound. For example, the knowledge of you knowing how to grow a YouTube channel can compound over years. And anything else, the knowledge of investment, the knowledge of your personal finance can compound over the years. The key thing here is for us to determine in our personal lives, in our business lives, what are the most important areas we need to prioritize right now to start compounding on today. And the second reason here is about lead quality. As we all know, leads are not made equal, right? Some leads are warmer, others are colder. And the reason I think you should start developing your YouTube channel as soon as possible is because that the average lead that finds you for YouTube after watching your videos, whether it's consuming one video of yours or even spend hours binge watching your video, are way more likely on average to be more educated about you, your business, your services provided, and therefore more likely to sign up with you, aka easier to convert. This is easy to understand, right? Because think about it, we would naturally feel closer to and more connected with someone if we had consumed more of their content or actually invested time to watch through their videos. And as we all know, video content is 10 times more effective to establish that emotional connection with your audience than reading through a 200-word post. And on other social media platforms, the main way of marketing is text-based content. And that's good. That could still be educational, but it doesn't come across as expressing yourself in the video format on YouTube because people can't see you from a video. They can understand who you are as a person, your personality, your tone, your way of thinking. Therefore, they're going to be able to make a much better judgment of whether they want to work with you or not. And what's related to this that I think a lot of people overlook is YouTube is not only a social media, right? It's also the second largest search platform globally. So what does that mean to you as a business owner is the average person who finds you from YouTube is already searching that topic to begin with, meaning that they're already interested in making them a higher quality potential client to work with. And after studying over 25 fast-growing business channels on YouTube, I arrived at the third reason, which is the lead generation process on YouTube is largely automated after you posting a video. So let me explain what I mean here. If you look at other social media platforms, let's take Facebook or Instagram as an example here. When you post a text-based piece of content on Facebook, it's only that long. There's only so much you can talk about in a post. It's very surface level, and people typically are not necessarily going to be able to feel ready to take that desired call to action with you, whether it's booking a sales call with you or purchasing a product outright. So what does that mean here is you're going to invest additional time and energy to nurture them, to follow up with them, to chat back and forth with them in the DMs to get them to convert. Now, on YouTube, it's different. You have a detailed video that goes into depth that answers all the questions for your audience, right? And very likely, in addition to that one video, you probably have other additional relevant videos as well that they can also explore and watch on their own. And in your videos, you're already providing a lot of context, a lot of free information and details, a lot of credibility that people don't feel, at least a lot of them don't necessarily feel like they have to chat with you for hours after that in order to make a decision. So you can, right below the video, link your desired call to action, which is getting them to whether buying a book or opting to your email list or booking a sales call. And it's going to be a lot easier for them to convert because you have already provided all of that in your videos. So at this point, you might be wondering, Rachel, is YouTube getting you to do this commercial for them? I want to clarify that YouTube is not paying me to do anything. As you can see, I'm also myself in the very early stages of trying to grow my YouTube channel here, right? So I don't have anything to sell to you. I just want to be open to my audience about my journey. I wanted to share the reasons here because I don't think that's really understood among business owners. And I would hate to see someone like me who actually missed this great opportunity because right now it's still a prime time to grow on YouTube. So from my past experience in business, we actually grew the previous business to a pretty impressive level. At least it was impressive to myself. I was really proud of that. But even then, at the first of every month, I feel like we're starting over from scratch again. So I was constantly thinking about where can I get the lead flow for this month? Where can I get all the sales calls needed for my team that's going to be enough, right? It's like it's constantly in that hamster wheel. We're always starting from zero again every single month. So at that point, I actually really regretted, and trust me, I don't use the word regret often or lightly, but I did really regret of not starting on YouTube where I can have a somewhat, of course it's not perfect, but as close to an evergreen lead generation channel as possible, not only to grow my own personal brand, but to develop lead flow for my business. So that's the only reason I'm sharing it here. I want to spend the next 2 minutes to quickly talk about reason 4 and 5, and then I'll share the shortcut. If you currently don't have a channel, like what can you do to speed up and actually catch up today? So the fourth reason here is YouTube has an enormous scale of audience. I believe the latest statistic is YouTube is reaching around 2.5 billion users per month. So what does that mean to you as a business owner is you're not only getting higher quality, warmer leads to start with, but you're also getting them completely for free, right? Because you're not doing any advertising on YouTube. You're just posting videos. It's 100% organic process. So you're not only getting high quality, free lead flow forever that's going to compound and actually increase its effect over time, but also if you get your YouTube channel to grow, if you get it going, you're going to be able to really scale it to big level because YouTube has such a massive and enormous audience base. So you're never going to run out of leads. Now, the other side of hidden benefits, I think a lot of people are becoming more and more aware of these days is while you are developing lead flow for your business, you're also developing your personal brand. And when you have a personal brand, aka have a good following on YouTube, you have more choice, more freedom, and more flexibility in your business career down the road. Now, the reason I say that is because we as people often tend to evolve over time, right? Now you're doing this business. Maybe in 10 years, you probably don't want to do this business anymore, or you probably grew out of it, right? It's very common, it happens. Now, when you have a good following on YouTube that is loyal to you, that likes you, that feels somewhat connected to you, then you have more freedom and more choice to pivot. So if you don't want to do that business forever for like 4 decades in your life and you do decide to pivot to a different business, that following, or at least a good percentage of that, could follow you. So that's really where the power of personal brand comes in. Versus if you just have a static business that is focused on this one niche, and if you're growing it, that's great, but maybe after 5 years you don't want to do that anymore, you grow out of it, then you have to start from zero. You have to start from scratch, like what I'm doing right now. Even though the previous business, I was able to grow it to 8 figures. But to anyone else on internet, online, they still don't know me. So that's what I deeply regretted 4 or 5 years ago, that I didn't start on this early enough. So I'm being really open and honest here. I hope no one judges me, but that's really the truth here. And when you have a good following on YouTube, it typically means more exposure and more visibility of you. And when you have more visibility, it means that you might have more opportunities as well. So for example, maybe more speaking engagements, maybe a book collaboration, maybe a podcast proposal. In general, it just means you would be able to have more options more easily. right? And who doesn't want more options in life? Lastly, I do want to talk about the shortcut I mentioned before to help you catch up today if you don't already have a YouTube channel. And that is the use of AI. The use of artificial intelligence is making the process of growing a YouTube channel online easier, faster, and way more efficient to the point where it can largely automate the entire workflow. Now, when it comes to growing a YouTube channel, it comes down to three specific things, right? The first one here is the packaging of the video, which is your title, your thumbnail, like whether it's attractive to your potential audience or not, so that they will click. That's number one. The second thing here is your actual content quality. So what you specifically talk about in the video, do people feel satisfied after watching it? And the third part here is content frequency, which is how often or how frequent you're uploading a new video. Now, the great thing about AI is it can largely help you not only increase your productivity in each area greatly, but also largely automate it. And this is the last reason why I think now is the golden time, the prime time of growing your YouTube channel, because it's just never been easier. Because before you have to manually do everything, the entire workflow. You have to do research on your own, come up with video titles, design, create your thumbnails, and actually sit down to film everything, edit everything, and package it, publish it, promote it. It's really a full-time job. But now with AI, you're going to be able to largely automate it and probably don't need to spend more than a few hours each week to be able to meet the workload. This is why it's so exciting, because I'm on this journey as well, and I will continue to be open to share the best AI strategies that I think we can all use and leverage in this area. All right, so that's it today. Now, if you're interested in seeing another video from me that talks about how we can leverage AI to automate some parts of the workflow, please comment workflow below and I'll consider making a full breakdown. Thank you. See you in the next video.